to talk about the second one is the presentation on the telephone. So a couple of things I wanted to say. I know a number of you are actually driving out and spending time at the person's place selling the PMA, and that's okay. However, it's not the most efficient way of doing it. Ideally, I think what we want to do is focus on the telephone, and doing it on the telephone, it'll save you time, it'll save you money, and you can actually get it done a lot quicker. And so obviously then as your lead generating becomes more efficient, you'll be able to sign more PMAs, which is what we all want. So the first thing you want to do, you get somebody on the phone, you want to do a number of things. So I'm going to kind of role play. I don't have anybody to role play with, but a one-sided role play. So the first thing is, the phone rings, the guy answers the phone. Hi, I'm Tony Dupree from Reese Property Management. Peter Burke gave me your name, suggested that I gave you a call. He said that you had a property that you were considering having managed. Is that correct? And give them a question. Open it with a question. So, is that correct? Did I get the story right? And then they'll say, yeah, actually we've got this place. And strangely enough, sometimes they already are sold and they're ready to sign the PMA. Then you don't want to oversell it because sometimes you can sell them out of it. So find out if they've made the decision. So is that correct? Yes, it's correct. We have a place in Provo. Oh, awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about where you're at, decision-making wise, what you're thinking, and what you need right now? Ask them an open-ended question. Give them the floor. Allow them to set the stage for you to be able to make your presentation. This is crucial. I know that you really are excited and you want to deliver your story and you want to get this thing sold and you want to get the PMA signed, but allow them the opportunity to set the context, to set the framework. This will save your life. Okay, so whereabouts are you in the decision-making process? They'll say, well, you know what, we just closed on this place, we're rearing to go. When can you guys start? Case closed, sign, say, cool, all we need to do is go through the PMA, go through it online, fill it in, email it to them, get it signed. Okay, so that's the easy one. Then some of them are going to say, well, you know what, we're busy looking around, just trying to find out what's available. Here's the way that I feel is the most effective way of introducing our model. So, is this a convenient time for you to speak? And this is something you should have asked a little earlier. I forgot to mention that. Always ask that, give them the opportunity to say, no, I'm really busy, and then call them later. So, is this a good time for you to speak? Sure. Have you got 10 minutes? Yeah, great. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about our model. Or let me give you a little bit of background about the way our business operates. Something like that, just to lead in so that they understand what you're talking about. Okay, so here are the basics of our model. Number one, we charge 8%, and that's charged on gross monthly rental. Secondly, contrary to what our competition do, we charge a one-time setup fee, and this is going to vary by region. I'm just going to do it in Utah. We charge a one-time $250 setup fee. That is the only fee that you will pay Reese for as long as we manage that property. Make sure they understand that. And if you're in another region and they're required to pay the fee for the agent representing the tenant on a turnover of lease, just inform them of that as well. But help them to understand that we will not have funny little charges creeping into their statement on a regular basis. We don't do that. We're up front. This is awesome. Now, another thing they need to understand is that they don't pay a ZAC until we've collected the first month's rent. So that $250 setup fee, you don't pay anything towards that. That'll come out of the first month's rent. Okay? And I give them that bit of information. And then ask them, do you have any questions? Because you might think that you've been effective in your communication, but they might have not got your message. So ask them, do you have any questions? Assuming they don't have any questions, you say a couple of other things about our model that differentiates us from our competition and ensures that we're able to provide a sustainable value service. Okay, so a couple of other things I wanted to tell you. So the 8%, the setup fee, they're awesome. The third thing that's significant about our model is that that $250 covers everything, in addition to which Reese will cover uncontested evictions. Now, I know that in some regions we've been hesitating, but it looks like we're just about to strike a deal where we will be able to basically insure ourselves against this loss, and so this should be able to be available to all regions pretty soon, and we'll confirm that within the next day or two. So if this is confirmed, then tell them that that'll cover uncontested evictions as well. Okay, cool. So once you pay $250 or whatever it is, you never have to pay any other fees. You never have to worry. The second thing about our model that's significantly different is that our property managers are paid based on a percentage of the property management fees that they generate. Now, this is significant from a number of different perspectives. The first perspective is the property manager is more positively inclined towards managing your property because it is incremental income for him. So, for example, if I call a property manager at 8 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, he'll answer, he'll take my call, and he'll be glad, grateful, excited for the property that he's being assigned because it brings him more income, number one. Number two, so the other thing is understanding that we don't get paid, nor does the property manager get paid until we find you a tenant. Therefore, we're motivated to find you a tenant. Understanding that we're going to pay for the eviction, therefore we're not going to find you a crap tenant because we're going to end up paying for the eviction. In addition to which, the property manager is incentivized to look for decent tenants because he will contribute a proportion of the costs of your eviction. So he's motivated to find a tenant quickly, but he's also motivated to find you a good quality tenant. So that's the second facet of our model. The third facet of our model is we work really closely with your referring realtor. And this may not sound like a big deal, but this is why it is a big deal to you, Mr. Homeowner. And the big deal is that you own one unit. Your one unit to any professional property management outfit is small. It's not a big deal. So your leverage on a business, a property manager, is going to be commensurate with the amount of income that you generate for that business, which is one unit. It's Mickey Mouse. It's small. Don't tell him it's Mickey Mouse. But anyway, I'm telling you it's Mickey Mouse. It's small. However, your relationship to your real estate agent, the referring realtor, is significantly contributes to your leverage on Reese Property Management, because here's the deal. That realtor refers business to us on an ongoing basis. So we cannot afford for us or any of his referrals to have a bad experience, firstly. Secondly, that realtor is in an office. That office refers significant business to us. So your leverage is expanded exponentially by your relationship with your referring realtor. Do you have any questions? Okay, give them an opportunity. Let them ask you these questions. If they have no questions, this is the deal. You want to go through the PMA while they're on the phone, filling their information onto the Word document on your computer. You then save it as a PDF, email it to them, and get them to sign it and email it back to you. That's the most efficient way of doing it. Do not send them blank PMAs. We cannot read them. They don't fill them in effectively. They don't fill them in correctly. It is your responsibility to get that PMA properly completed. Okay. So now he's going to say, oh, no, I don't have any questions, or he might come up with questions about repairs and maintenance. This is always a big deal on their minds. Okay, so here's the deal. Repairs and maintenance, the way Reese has set this up is we have preferred vendors. We have negotiated with all of our preferred vendors a 10% discount. So if a vendor would normally charge $100, Reese Property Management gets it for $90. Reese Property Management then marks it up 10%, and you, Mr. Homeowner, pay less than you would have paid had you paid it yourself. Meaning that Reese has used their vendors, our vendors, to pay our margin, not our clients. And this is a significant thing to explain and to make sure you understand it, that you can explain it to the referring realtor and you can explain it to the client. In addition to which, they are not required to use Reese Property Management to deliver their repairs and maintenance. If they want to do it themselves, we don't have a problem with that. That is also significant. So these are the fundamental issues that you need to present to them on the phone. Now they're saying, final question is, okay, cool. I think we pretty much covered most of what's in the PMA. Do you have any other questions? And sometimes they do, most times they don't. And they'll say no. You say, okay, you're ready to go ahead. Close it. And this is a bad close. I can tell you right now, All of the sales trainers in the world will tell you, you don't use a question close. I'm telling you that in this particular situation, ask them, are you ready to go ahead? Because most of the time, they will say yes, and you can get on and close the deal and fill in the PMA. If they say no, it gives you an opportunity to ask them this. What is stopping you from making that decision right now? Then they're going to give you all these stalls and objections. What I want you to do is I want you to make notes of those. And in our meetings on a Monday morning, we'll talk about how to deal with those stalls and objections. Because at the end of the day, you should be closing 90% at least of the people that you speak to on the phone. These PMA calls should take between 15 and 20 minutes. They should be like taking candy from a baby. These people are warm. They're ready for us. All they want to do is have us manage their properties. So just remember, every Monday at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, we have our training. And make sure that you get the right code, and you can go to mymeetings.com and log into that. If you've got any questions, call me anytime, Facebook me, email me, and we are delighted. And I wanted to thank Trace from First Cal for doing this video. So I appreciate he's working with us, and we're excited about the value that First Cal is adding to our model. So just so that you know, First Cal is significantly contributing to our success. So, and that's what I want to talk about today. We'll see you next time.